Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation News fans. A certain The Golden Bachelor star is now appearing on Bachelor in Paradise, Season 10, after being eliminated from The Golden Bachelor on October 19th, 2023. And now, Kathy Swartz is sharing her seduction secrets. Yes, she's been looking for love in paradise, and her bold approach could really pay off. Kathy, who once spilled the beans about Mark Anderson's love life before Mel Owens was cast of the next Golden Bachelor, finds her Bachelor in Paradise co-star, Keith Gordon, appealing. She's not shy about saying so. She praises his intelligence and sensitivity. While love's always a gamble on the series, it's safe to say that Kathy's confident approach could take her far. What Kathy Swartz's plan to get Keith Gordon alone means. First, via a chat with US Weekly, Kathy discussed her overall approach to getting noticed on a show filled with singles of all ages. As per the source, she wasn't worried about standing out. She said, "My goal was to strategically pick a place on that catamaran where I could eyeball each and every guy, make sure they were eyeballing me." As she emerged, becoming a force to be reckoned with in Costa Rica, Kathy displayed rock-solid self-esteem, stating that she wasn't worried about making an impact. Soon enough, she realized that Keith had the most to offer. She felt attracted to him while on the catamaran, where she found a spot that made it so easy to see and be seen. She moved fast with him, based on guidance she'd received about doing well on the series. Kathy said, as per the same source, "That's when I had my eyes on Keith and CK. What is it? Shoot your shot? Yes, I heard that a million times. Don't waste time. Get to work." Our take on Kathy Swartz's bold approach. Kathy's proactive about finding the relationship that she wants. She's making every effort to connect, as seen during her VIP date with Keith, as shown in the YouTube clip above via Bachelor Nation. She decided to take Keith on that date because she thinks he's a really nice guy. He does seem friendly and warm, so maybe she's on the right track. Also, he wasn't a total stranger. She actually connected with Keith before the season. Possibly the fact that she knew him a little made her feel more comfortable with him. Keith chatted with her while guesting on Susan Knowles' podcast, Golden Hour. In the video above, Keith was remarkably open about life as a man at a more mature stage of life. He said that every older guy should have one thing, Viagra. In fact, he described that medication as a ticket to paradise. They ended up in a 2-story VIP suite where they were able to get a little closer. They seem to have a great time together. They have a nice relationship that doesn't seem awkward. They communicate well and both seem excited by all the possibilities that life can bring. Neither seems jaded because they haven't found true love yet. So maybe the two will end up falling in love for a lifetime. It doesn't seem like she's very interested in anyone else. On the June 15th episode, they enjoyed some luxe treats, including champagne, and Kathy seemed elated. She said on screen, "Keith is this great guy who I had met before. He'd been on my podcast. I'm sure you remember he raised 3 daughters on his own. He has this way about him, this kindness, this balance of humor and emotional IQ. He's just a great guy, and I thought, you know what, let's see if there's something else there. Give him a little champagne, a little sit down in a hot tub, and let's see where it goes." Kathy's gushing about him, which is such a good sign. A respectful partner will always put their significant other on a pedestal. For his part, he appears to be taken with Kathy, even if he's not as emotionally open about his attraction to her.
In Paradise. The last thing anyone expected when Season 11 of Bachelor in Paradise kicked off was the arrival of a Golden Bachelor alum with a plan that would change the game. In a sea of sculpted 20-somethings trading roses under the Mexican sun, 66-year-old Eleanor "Ellie" Green, runner-up from the Golden Bachelor, walked down the stairs with elegance, confidence, and a mission. She wasn't just there for a second chance at love. She was there to test a theory, shake things up, and expose the cracks in a system she no longer believed in. What started as a quest for romance quickly turned into a revealing social experiment that Bachelor Nation couldn't stop talking about. And when Ellie finally shared her shocking strategy in a confessional video that went viral, jaws across the globe collectively dropped. This is the full story. From gold to paradise. Ellie Green captured hearts on The Golden Bachelor with her quick wit, silver blonde bob, and tear-jerking story of losing her husband of 35 years to cancer. Fans loved her honesty and resilience, and even though she didn't receive the final rose, Ellie left the show with grace and dignity. But what viewers didn't know was that Ellie had left The Golden Bachelor feeling more skeptical than romantic. She believed many of her fellow contestants were playing up to the cameras, not seeking real love, but chasing screen time, Instagram deals, or the elusive next bachelorette spot. Ellie wasn't bitter, she was curious. So when producers approached her about a surprise appearance on Bachelor in Paradise, she agreed, but only on one condition. She would not be edited for drama. She would be allowed to speak freely, in confessionals, on dates, in group chats, and tell the truth about what she saw happening in Paradise. The producers, sensing ratings gold, agreed, but they didn't know Ellie had a strategy of her own. Ellie's experiment begins. From the moment she descended those infamous stairs, the beach came to a standstill. "Is that Ellie Green?" one contestant whispered. "From The Golden Bachelor?" Ellie, wearing a turquoise caftan and a gold anklet, didn't look like she was trying to blend in. She hugged Jesse Palmer warmly and waved to the stunned cast. "Some of you might think I'm in the wrong show," she joked, "but love doesn't come with an age limit, and I'm here to see if your kind of love is real or reality." It wasn't just a bombshell entrance, it was a warning. And what followed over the next few days was nothing short of a masterclass in truth-telling and manipulation detection. Ellie's mission? To identify who was there for real connections and who was performing for Paradise. Truth bombs and tan lines. While younger contestants spent their time doing synchronized pool jumps and love triangle drama, Ellie made quiet rounds. She had conversations that seemed casual but were sharp as scalpels. She asked questions like, "If no cameras were here, would you still be interested in him? What does commitment mean to you when there's no incentive? Do you think you're falling in love or falling in love with attention?" One of her first sit-downs was with fan favorite Milo, the guitar-playing heartthrob from The Bachelorette, who'd already kissed 3 women by day 2. "You seem sweet," Ellie said, "but I notice you keep your guitar close. Is it because it's your comfort or your prop?" Milo laughed, then looked stunned. No one had called him out like that. "You think I'm using it for attention?" he asked. Ellie didn't answer directly. She just smiled. "That depends. Play me something without thinking about who's watching." Later that night, he did. A raw, quiet nullity by the fire. For once, no camera zoomed in. Ellie had disarmed him. The conspiracy of the rose. Midway through the week, Ellie began noticing something strange. Certain contestants seemed to be coordinating behind the scenes, making alliances not for love, but for longevity. They exchanged roses to keep each other in, ensuring longer stays, more screen time, and increased social media followers. Ellie dubbed it the conspiracy of the rose. She secretly recorded voice memos to herself each night, narrating what she saw. Subtle winks between exes, strategic timing of kisses right before rose ceremonies, and whispered deals. Then came the night that confirmed her suspicions. She overheard 2 contestants, Britt and Joel, talking on a beach bed. Britt: "If you give me your rose, I'll take you to the final week. We both gain followers, we can fake a breakup after the reunion." Joel: "You think anyone will notice?" Britt: "Not if we cry at the right moments." Ellie was horrified and invigorated. She now had proof. But rather than expose them right away, she decided to play their game. Operation Rosebuster. The next day, Ellie began crafting what she later called Operation Rosebuster. She chose a partner in truth, Natalie, a shy but honest contestant who felt out of place in the superficial chaos. Together, they formed a real alliance, not for screen time, but to protect the few contestants who were genuinely there for love. They began staging counter-interventions. When Britt tried manipulating sweethearted Luke into giving her a rose, Natalie pulled him aside and told him the truth. When Joel pretended to cry about feeling unlovable, Ellie casually mentioned that crocodile tears were easy to spot, especially after private plotting. The manipulative players began losing power. Their strategies backfired. Ellie's approach? Empathy mixed with wisdom, sprinkled with sharp one-liners like, "You can't lie to someone who's lived through 3 decades of marriage and 2 teenagers." The audience at home? Obsessed. The confessional that broke the internet. On the final week of Paradise, Ellie sat down for a beachside confessional. She looked directly into the camera. No music, no edits, just Ellie. "I came here thinking I might fall in love again. What I found instead is a game. A game dressed as romance. There are real hearts here, don't get me wrong, but too many players are rehearsing lines, chasing influence, faking chemistry." She leaned forward. Bachelor Nation deserves better. Real love can't be scripted. And if you're going to fall in love on TV, the least you can do is mean it. She paused, smiled, and added one final line. "This might be Bachelor in Paradise, but sometimes it feels more like Survivor Manipulation Island." Within hours, her confessional was leaked on social media. Within days, it had 14 million views. A love unexpected. But Ellie didn't leave Paradise alone. In her final week, she'd formed a surprising connection with Omar, a 48-year-old widower and single dad who had come in quietly, almost unnoticed. The two bonded over grief, parenting, and the fear of being too late for new beginnings. Their romance wasn't flashy. There were no makeout montages or dramatic ultimatums. Just deep conversations, shared sunsets, and a promise to explore love outside of cameras. On the last night, Omar gave Ellie his rose, not because of a deal, not to stay on TV, but because, as he said, "You remind me that love doesn't expire, it evolves." The audience cried, and so did Ellie. After Paradise and the fallout. The reunion episode was the most watched in Bachelor in Paradise history. Ellie returned, greeted with a standing ovation from former contestants and viewers. Her honesty had shifted the culture of the show, at least for a moment. Britt and Joel, meanwhile, were exposed publicly. They admitted their influencer pact and claimed they'd learned from their mistakes. But Bachelor Nation was less forgiving. Their follower counts plummeted. Natalie was offered a spot as the next Bachelorette. And Ellie? She politely declined all spin-off offers. "I've done what I came to do," she said. "Let the young people date. I've got a second date with Omar next Tuesday, and that's the only rose I need." A legacy of truth. Ellie Green didn't find a fairy tale on Bachelor in Paradise. She found something better. Clarity, honesty, and a kind of love that didn't need to be televised to be real. She exposed the cracks in the game. And in doing so, she reminded millions that real love can't be manufactured, but it can be found even in the most unexpected places.